Well, guys, we've had a reckoning. I think we know what we're doing. Parts are on order. One more thing to do, and that's look after our dirty girl. Oh yeah, this is where we get a cloth, some frothy soapy water, and give her a good old sponging. Hope you stay tuned. Should be fun. All right, catch you later. Right guys, this is one of those rare moments. The bike, it's not had a good day, not happy. Possibly it's because I've neglected her a little bit. So I thought, cheer her up a bit, give her a good hot soaping down, get rid of some of that awful grit and sand and dirt. Now, I'm not one of these people who want to profit from this channel. It's just not what I'm about really. If I use a product, it's because I really think it's good. I'm not going to tell you what product I use. I think that would be unfair. But I've used it for a very, very long time. It comes in a blue bottle, it's made in Germany, and it rhymes with purr. So let's get a bucket, let's get a cloth, let's do the bike. So that's one of the beautiful things about our Mer product that we're using, is that it's not only a really good polish, if you put a reasonably small amount into your washing water, it gives you really good protection. As I said, I've been using this product for a long time. And the reason I do is that in summer, wash your bike down. Next time you go out, flies don't stick. But not as bad. It just does a nice job. She's coming up alright, isn't she? of the things about cleaning a bike like this is, yeah, it's a bit tedious, especially when it's freezing cold like today. And you might not get it perfectly clean like you would with a jet wash, although jet washes are not something I like to use on my bikes. But it does give you a chance to go over it all the time you're cleaning and trying to get it looking as nice as it's going to. And also pay note to all those other things. You know, what's the chain and sprocket like, and are the wheel weights still in place that you remembered seeing? You know, things like that. So it's more about getting into a ritual, and you know, the cleaning is part of maintenance. It gives you that opportunity to really understand your bike. You know, have a look over your tyres. Do I have any big chunks missing? What's the tread like? What's the wear like? Wearing very well. Not too many flat spots. Or should I say no flat spots? Bearing in mind that obviously this is a Joy Compound touring tyre, touring bias tyre. Although it's got a harder strip in the middle, a better life. It's not gone flat yet, which is nice. Obviously I corner as much as I go straight. Now, a quick note about the chain. I'm fairly particular about chains at the moment. On this particular bike I'm using a ceramic coating that sprays on. It's got a bit of solvent, ceramics and waxes and all that sort of thing. The idea is the chain gets warm, the ceramics all seep into the O-rings and links and everything. And a lot of people think, yeah, that's good enough, I'm happy with that. But the trouble is, nothing's going to get into your chain if your chain's filthy. And this has also had some wax on the chain, and that wax is very hard. And it might be an idea to get that cleaned off best I can, and then the chain will lube better. Eventually we'll have the other Scott oiler on it, and that will maintain the chain for me. I might also need to drop this down and retension it. But right now, let's have a go on that front wheel. So some time ago I made myself a little tool here, a couple of rollers on a steel frame. Put that under the front wheel. It allows you to rotate the front wheel, so you can leave the bike on the main stand. So I'll get that fitted and then we'll crack on. Little idea, isn't it? Nothing new about it. I'm sure people have done stuff like this for years. Guess I could actually start a little cottage industry just making those for people. I'm quite happy for the Mer to be on my front wheel. I've never had any problems with it being on the wheels and the brakes. I don't know, somebody's probably going to tell me I shouldn't do it, but I've been using it since the 90s, so never given me a problem. It doesn't seem to harm rubber or anything. In fact, it's one of those products that, yeah, I'm sure it puts a coating on things, but I put it on my saddle, I put it on my screen, I put it on my headlamp. It's just never caused me any issues. So I think when I do a job like this, I usually mix it something like 2 capfuls to a bucket of water. That's what I've done today anyway. I don't know about some of you, I've got fairly big hands. And, you know, over the years the disc size has increased quite a lot on bikes to match the stopping power to the going power. It's a good thing, don't get me wrong. It does mean it's a nightmare to get your hands in, you know. What we will do fairly shortly, I think, is have these wheels off, strip them down, give them a thorough cleaning. Although I must admit, they're actually coming up alright. Jamie, who owned the bike before me, really did spend a bit of time with maintenance and looking after this bike. So it's nice when you buy a bike, especially like Jamie actually delivered it. They drove down here all the way from up north. We had a good chat. We get on. I send him photos of the bike and he can tell me firsthand, you know, about the things he's done and what he's found. It's a good way. It's nice to, you know, keep in touch like that. Oh, she's a dirty girl in places. All in all, for a 20-odd-year-old bike, I don't think she's doing too bad at all. Obviously, when it comes to washing a bike, you start at the top, you work your way down. You leave the bit of swing it on and wheels and things until the last, so you're not putting that back on your paintwork. Right, next job. A little scrubbing of the radiator. Definitely needs something doing with the rad. Okay, now, next job. I'm going to try and get that chain cleaned up. So, chain maintenance. First thing, we find the split link. That's the little thing there, riveted link. So we now can start to gently, it's not to be really heavy, clean some of this crud off the chain. So what this wire brush will do is it scores into that box. It'll loosen some of it. It also, as I say, it scores into it, and what that gives us is a broken surface that a cleaner of choice can really get into. Okay, so we've done the outside. So, the reason I'm wearing gloves, folks, this is the best unleaded. Some people will probably cringe at this. You can use all sorts for this job. Brake cleaner, etc. But ultimately, petrol really does a quicker job. I don't smoke. Right hasn't even got its ignition turned on or anything. And with a little bit of perseverance, the petrol's starting to loosen some of the wax and get it shifted. Old towels are just brilliant for this because they absorbent, they hold the cleaner of choice. Unfortunately, some of those darker marks are rust. The other nice thing about petrol is it will evaporate off. And as long as you don't soak everything, drown it in the stuff, to a clean spot, you'll be okay. I would not advise doing this job without gloves. Okay, petrol isn't very good on the skin. Looking better already. You might not be able to see it as clearly as I can, but that's really coming up okay. just one good point to note here. I'm sat outside, there's a bit of a breeze. I'm not breathing in the vapours here. I wouldn't want to do this job in an enclosed garage. Obviously petrol vapours are not very good for you. The other thing is, if you're doing this in your garage, it's confined space. It greatly increases the risk of explosion, fire, getting totally trashed in a not so good way. So, you know, whenever you're doing a job like this, whatever solvent you've decided to use, think about the vapours and your own sensible safety. So I'll leave this now to dry in the garage. Get some of this off the sprocket whilst I'm talking. And what I tend to do is, before I go for a ride, I lube the chain up. I might give this a spray with a bit of penetrating oil before, just so there is a coating of something on it. But I'm not going to be particularly too bothered. Okay. Clean up this sprocket. There. Also be very careful not to nip your own fingers in the chain. It bloody hurts. Like I have the towel there. So, some people might think I'm a bit crazy cleaning all this protective wax off. The trouble is with protective wax, dirt sticks to it, and if dirt's sticking to it, then you end up with grinding paste. You know, and that sprocket's whirring around at quite a speed. It's covered in grinding paste, and all the time you're just ripping that chain apart with it. So it's not about lubricant so much as cleanliness. Right. Still plenty on there. That's looking better already. Some other points you can see the build-up of chain deposits in areas like this. So lots done here. Stop here. Might as well clear off some of this horrible gunky wax that's built up. I mean, at some point I'll get down and have all that suspension cleaned. It needs to be re-greased, but that might be when I take it over to Steve and ask him to give it a good service and a sort out for me. So I'm just wiping along the underside of the swinging arm. I know there's going to be a ton of debris there. The other thing is we're going to have our Scott oiler run along there, so it makes sense to degrease it as much as we can. Yeah, I think I'll have the chain guard off, and maybe that'll allow us to give that a better clean the top of the swinging arm and everything, and really get into that shocker assembly. Yeah. Really, when you're looking at chain tension, I think most motorcycle manufacturers recommend that the bike's down on the ground, and obviously
back wheels up. That way you can really get a better idea of what the chain tension is as the bike is running. The advantage here is let's just get all that crud off the back wheel. What I tend to do is I'll try and find where it's tightest. So I'll pick a point, run the chain and see if it tightens up anywhere. Well, it looks to be fairly consistent because you don't want tight spots. Also, another test is just put a bit of tension on the chain. Can you pull it off the sprocket at the back? No. So I'd say there's probably very little perceivable, you know, you can really just get it to move a bit. But as a rule, it's not moving that much when it's under tension. So not so much wear. But I've got a feeling these sprockets are maybe showing signs of wear. You might replace those at some point, but certainly not yet. And for me, when I do that, I replace the chain, both sprockets. I don't believe in just doing part job. One, things will wear other things, so it's not worth cheaping out. Right. Well, as I said, not perfect. I'm going to remove the petrol soak rag to a safe place. And I think that's it for today. Catch you on the flip side.
Well, that's it. Clean, shiny bike. Back in the garage. Cover on it. Drying off nicely. So just waiting for the parts to turn up now. As soon as we get the parts, we can get that clutch sorted out. Jobs are good. And I hope you've enjoyed the whole ordeal. And thank you for being there with me. Take care now. Bye-bye.